Today, we're talking about something that probably happened to you this week, maybe even today. You get a text, a DM, and it absolutely makes your blood boil. Your fingers are already flying across the keypad, your heart's pounding, and you're crafting the perfect comeback. This is going to absolutely destroy their argument and prove you're right. And then you hit send. And 5 minutes later, you realize you just made everything 10 times worse. And if you've ever been there, and honestly, who hasn't, including me, this episode is for you. We're going to talk about one simple practice that can literally change your relationships, your peace of mind, and honestly, your spiritual growth. It's called de-escalation. And it starts with one radical choice, not hitting send. So the problem, let's get real for a second. Why is texting during conflict so dangerous? First off, texting removes all the human stuff. This is kind of the coward's way out. You can't hear tone, you can't see facial expressions, you can't feel the energy in the room. The message you send sarcastically, yeah, they're reading it as dead serious. The thing that you made a joke about, because you're already over it and you have that type of personality. I'm that way. I can be over an argument in 30 seconds. But they're still in defensive mode, and they feel that you're attacking them when you make the joke. But here's the deeper issue, and this is where the spiritual part comes in. When we text reactively, we're operating from our ego, not our higher self, not our spirit. Think about it. When you're fiercely typing, what are you trying to do? We're trying to win. We're trying to be right. We're trying to prove they're wrong. And above all, we feel that we need to defend our image, our pride. They don't even understand the version of our story. And I'm telling you guys, that is pure ego. And the ego, it doesn't care about connection. It doesn't care about the truth. The ego doesn't care about any of those things. It only cares about being right, looking good, and surviving. I talk about this all the time. It's evolutionary psychology. This modern world is not made for our ancient software, that crazy part of our brain that is afraid of being kicked out of the tribe. Because if we get kicked out of the tribe, what happens? No food, no shelter, no protection, nothing. And here's what's wild. In that moment where the ego steps over and we begin to have this reactive texting, it feels powerful. It feels like we're taking control. It feels like we're standing up for ourselves, and we will not let them get away with it. But what is that feeling? It's a trap. Because what you're really doing, and I'll explain this, is giving away your power. You're letting their energy dictate your response. You're handing them the remote control to your nervous system. And from a spiritual perspective, that's not freedom, guys, that's bondage. So here's the wisdom of the pause. And I know this sounds too simple and it sounds too easy, but make a rule where you're going to do no reactive texts or DMs. If they want to have a conversation, if they want to talk to you in person, you're up for that. Whether it's in a car, whether it's for dinner or lunch or a coffee shop, whatever it is, you don't send reactive texts or DMs. Don't send them at all. But you're like, Jason, I need to respond. If you absolutely need to say something, here's your template. Now I want you guys to listen to me. This is really, really good. You text this: I want a good outcome, not a win. Can we pause and talk certain time with the goal of alignment? I'm going to say it again. This is what I want you to text. I want a good outcome, not a win. Can we pause and talk at Thursday at 2:00 with the goal of alignment? So let's break this down, why this is so powerful. When you say, I want a good outcome, not a win, this one sentence does something radical. It shifts you from ego mode to spirit mode. It reminds you and it tells them that you're not here to destroy them and that you're not here to be right. You're here for resolution, for understanding, for something better than this toxic back and forth, because that's what it is, guys. It's just slinging dirt back and forth at each other, dropping grenades. That doesn't help anyone. This is deeply spiritual because most wisdom traditions teach us the same thing, don't they? They all teach let go of being right. Choose love over being right. Choose peace over being right. The Course in Miracles, if you guys haven't read that, I encourage you to. It says, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Jesus said this, blessed are the peacemakers. Buddha taught about right speech. Islam talks about controlling your anger as a sign of strength. Every tradition, spiritual tradition that's out there, talks about that the ego wants to win and the spirit wants to heal. So when you say that, when you go and say, hey, I want a good outcome, not a win, you're putting spirit first. Then when you say, can we pause and talk at a certain time, that's where you take back your power. You're not ignoring them. You're not ghosting. You're saying, the matter's enough to me that I want to give it my full presence. Not my triggered, not my reactive, not my half attention, not while I'm scrolling in bed at midnight and still emotionally pissed off about it. I'm going to respond to you when I am fully present. So you're taking back your power. You're also buying yourself time. Time to breathe, time to pray, time to meditate, time to journal about it, time to let your nervous system calm down, time to ask yourself, what do I actually want here? What's my highest intention? What do I actually want here? Most people don't ask that. They're worried about what the other person's thinking or what the outcome's going to be. What do you actually want in this situation? Then you tell them with the goal of alignment, not agreement, alignment. Alignment means we're both trying to understand each other. It doesn't mean that we're going to get back together if these are breakup texts. Alignment means we need to completely understand each other. We're both committed to finding a path forward. We might not end up seeing everything the same way, but we're aligned in our intention to respect each other and find resolution. So how do you actually do this? When your hands are shaking and you're on your phone and you're so mad, step one, notice the urge. The moment you feel the heat rising, that needs to respond, pause, and name it. You have to tell yourself, I want to react right now. Because that little bit, just saying that, I want to react right now, brings awareness. It's a little bit of awareness, and that awareness always creates space. Step number two, put the phone down. Literally put it in another room if you have to. This is the physical act of honoring your future self. You're protecting the relationship of you. You're protecting your peace. You're taking charge by taking that phone. That technology is just a box with some semiconductors in it and a battery, and you're putting it over in a place that you know you won't touch it for a while. Step three, feel your feelings. Don't spiritually bypass this. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to feel hurt. But feel it in your body, not in their DMs. Punch a pillow, scream in your car, journal, call a friend, a great best friend who you can just listen. That doesn't add fuel. They listen to you. They help you. They want your higher self. They're not going to, you should tell him this, or you should do this, or you should go over there and ruin his car and do all these things. And if you're a guy, this is even more important because she's going to judge you on how you respond in conflict. And if you can't figure out how to be able to handle a partner, then guess what? Your whole life, you're screwed, because at work, everywhere you go, as being a leader, you're going to have to handle conflict, and you're going to have to and understand and do it really well. And seek peace. Always seek peace. Step 4, get grounded. Pray, meditate, take a walk. This is what I love to do. When I get emotionally stirred up, angry, I get an email, I get a text message, whatever it is, I immediately go take a walk. Splash cold water on your face. Do whatever brings you back to center. Back to you. Back to your values. Back to who you really want to be. You don't want to be that person that's saying all that nasty stuff on text. It doesn't amount to anything. Step 5, ask yourself, what do I actually want out of this situation? And I always say, what would my higher self do? Or a lot of you have those, what would Jesus do? And then how do I want to feel about this interaction tomorrow? I'll be like, shit, why did I waste an hour arguing with this person? All they did was, they just kept making excuses, and I wasted a whole hour. That doesn't work. And then step 6, if you need to respond, use the template that I gave you. But keep your energy. Keep the I want resolution, not revenge. I want connection, not combat. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but they started it. They were, Jason, you didn't realize they were so wrong. And if I don't respond, they'll think they won. Well, let me tell you something that changed my life. Letting them win the argument while you win your peace, that's the actual victory. Because here's what's happened when you engage reactive. The argument escalates, things get said that can't be unsaid. The relationship always gets damaged. You feel terrible afterward, and the original issue, it still isn't resolved, is it? Nobody wins, everybody loses. But when you pause, when you de-escalate, here's what you gain. Number one, your dignity. Number two, your self-respect. Number three, the moral high ground. Without even trying for it, you gain it. Number four, a chance of actual resolution. Number five, peace of mind. And finally, number six, you model mature spiritual communication, not just for yourself, but for them. And sometimes the other person will meet you there. They'll appreciate the pause. They'll show up to that conversation ready to align. And sometimes they won't. They'll keep trying to bait you because that's the only way they know how to communicate with that trauma and drama. They'll call you a coward for not engaging. They'll twist boundaries. They're going to push all your buttons, especially if they know you. But don't you feel like the universe is giving you a test? That test maker that I talked about this. If you want to pass a test, find out what the intention of the test maker that wrote the test, what they want, what they know. Do AI and do research on the test. Find out who made the test. Who were they? I want to dive deep into understanding what the test maker thinks is perfect. And that's the same here. This is a test. The universe is using this person to be able to test you. They're learning and you're learning, right? You're not doing this for them. You're doing this for you, for your spirit, for your peace, for the person you're becoming. And guess what? This is what my spiritual maturity looks like in the age of smartphones. So here's my challenge to you this week. Practice a pause just once. The next time you get the text that makes you want to go off, just don't send it. You don't need to win. If you have to send something, use my template or your own version of it. Just don't respond until you're grounded. And I want you to notice what happens. I want you to notice what you learn about yourself. Notice how different you feel when you choose your response instead of reacting from your wounds. That's so important. We always react from our wounds, don't we? This isn't about being passive. It's not about letting people walk all over you. It's about responding from your power, not your pain. From your spirit, not your ego. Remember, you want a good outcome, not a win. And sometimes the best outcome is protecting your peace. All right, that's it for today. Guys, if this resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And hey, if you try this practice, I'd love to hear how it goes. Until next time, guys, pause before you sin, choose peace over being right, and trust that your higher self, it knows the way.